Flintstones. They're the modern Stone Age family.
Investing is like driving. When I was a kid, I loved to watch Fred Flintstone. I would think about freedom, independence, and speed. This morning, as I watched Caleb, my grandson, driving his little Fred Flintstone car, I think he was feeling a sense of freedom and independence too. Driving is a sport, and investing is like driving. You don't have to be a NASCAR or Le Mans race car driver. If you're like me, any of my friends, Fred Flintstone and I think Caleb, you'll want to be the driver, not the passenger. And if I'm right, then you want to learn a few things about investing before you push down on the gas pedal and hit the highway. Investing, like driving, takes skill. Initially, you'll bang into stuff. You'll take a corner too fast. You may run into a wall or a garage or another car. Warren Buffett is a great investor, and he says investing is not like Olympic diving. You don't get extra points for difficulty. He's right, of course, but a few basic skills can go a long way in your investing success. Like driving, it helps if you have a roadmap. Getting from here to where? A lot of investors get started without having a clue where they really want to go. It's like driving. When you first get your license, it's all about having the freedom to drive. You don't really care about where you're going. You just want to be in the driver's seat. Or maybe you're one of those rare people, like my wife, who would just as soon be a passenger. Even though she doesn't really like the way I drive through Houston traffic, I'm always competing with every other vehicle on the road for that one open slot. I generally know where I'm going, and I usually have an idea about the fastest way to get there. Investing is more like taking a very long trip. I used to use a road map for very long trips, and I love my State Farm Road Atlas. Today, instead of a road map, I use the Waze app with real-time GPS. Investing on your own is like driving on your own. Why would you hire a driver when you could drive yourself? You wouldn't even think about hiring someone for your daily driving. At least I hope you wouldn't. Imagine how much it would cost if you decided to buy retail transportation for your entire life. A taxi cab plus a tip for the driver. Uber with or without a tip. A private limo driver. How much would you pay for that for an hour or a week? What if you had a private driver like Miss Daisy in the movie? So now just stop and think, how much would you spend your entire life paying for retail investing? An A-share mutual fund with a 7% load, and the ones Dave Ramsey likes to recommend. And then do the math on the annual expense for those mutual funds. And what about the advisor fees you're going to pay to your financial advisor for investing? My firm, BayRock, charges about 1.5% on average, which is pretty cheap considering the fact that we use low-cost ETFs instead of extra expensive mutual funds. But a lot of Americans pay retail for the investment products on top of the fees and expenses they're paying to their fund manager and their financial advisor and the broker dealer who has all these hidden costs that just makes it even more expensive. By the way, have you ever thought about why Dave Ramsey recommends mutual funds instead of ETFs? Do you even know the difference between a mutual fund and an ETF? You're going to find out. Investing is like driving. You don't get extra points for paying someone else to do it for you. In fact, you can get extra points simply by learning a few basic principles about investing and adding to your knowledge throughout your investing lifetime. That's what I'm going to teach you in this course. Investing is also a little bit like insurance. There's a lot to learn. So investing, like insurance, could be and should be a standalone course. We won't get through everything in this module, but I'm committed to teaching you what you need to know to be able to invest like a pro. I know, that sounds like a super big promise, but stay tuned. Investing is not nearly as complicated as the Wall Street brokers want you to believe. Let's stay connected even after the course, even after you get your certificate of completion in this course, and I'll help you continue your investing education so that you're absolutely able to invest like a pro. Here's what we're going to cover in the next few lessons. First, the perfect investment. We've already talked about it. We'll talk about it again. 4 investment strategies designed to maximize your returns and minimize your risk. Number 1, diversification. Number 2, asset allocation. Number 3, dollar cost averaging. And number 4, portfolio rebalancing. But first, you need to understand a few investment basics like what about asset classes? Large cap, small cap, bonds, international. And what about risk and reward? You need to understand how they're correlated. So we're going to talk about risk and reward. And I want you to know how to distinguish between different types of investments, like a mutual fund or an index fund or an ETF, an exchange traded fund, my favorite. And what about individual stocks? Large cap stocks, small cap, mid cap, international. What about investing in those individual company stocks or individual bonds? And what about a bond fund, a corporate bond, a government bond, a municipal bond? And then there's alternative investments like REITs, real estate investment trusts, private equity, precious metals like gold, silver, copper. And what about cash and cash equivalents? Let me give you a sneak peek into your 3 assignments for this module. In fact, the next 3 assignments will end with your capstone. Assignment number 1, before we get started, I want you to change your date of birth to 4/15/62. That's going to make you 58 years old. And you're going to inherit $1 million and invest $1 million and then report your findings through your financial plan. Assignment number 2, after I teach you a few things about investment, I want you to reallocate your assets and then report your findings. Assignment number 3, which is the final assignment, retirement tax planning strategies. You're going to reallocate your assets and reposition those assets using what you learned about retirement tax planning strategies. That's your capstone assignment. So that's where we're going to go over the next couple of weeks. Investing is like driving. And I think you want to learn how to invest so that you can take advantage of the technology that's available today for independent investors. And I'm going to teach you how. So thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next video when we go over 4 investment strategies to maximize returns and minimize risk. But in the meantime, I've posted some articles and a few other videos for you to watch just to get you ready for the next assignment and the next lesson. So take care, and I'll see you next time.